Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for joining and watching UBC TV this early morning, about 29 minutes on to 7 a.m. And we're glad to be here to start your day, your Wednesday. It's a Wednesday one usually meant to celebrate women. And I think it's also important. One thing I think we should start paying attention to, that every Monday we should celebrate the men as well. But this very Wednesday, the 4th of February, is also a countrywide election for local council elections, local government elections, pardon me. That is at sub-county and town council levels countrywide. So make sure that you indeed go cast your vote. It's just a few minutes, starting at 7 a.m. until 4 p.m. You might as well go cast your vote and quickly run to work. My name is Julie F. Nantaba, with Joan Murunji and Robert Chirabo. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Julie, and good morning to you, our lovely viewers. It's always so amazing to wake up with you and you accompany us throughout the show. Now, there is something that utterly stunned me, and this was about the missing scripts of 34 learners, right, candidates of Bamuri Primary School, that is in Koboko district. One, I want to commend UNEB for being empathetic and considerate. But before that, this is what happened. Scripts of these learners, specifically for integrated science, PLE, went missing. And UNEB tried to check in all the marking centers and stations to ensure that they have these scripts, but it was in vain. And then suddenly, the scripts are found locked in the headmaster's office where UNEB materials were kept, though the envelope was still sealed and intact. And then
So that means they were left behind.
Yes, they were left behind. And then in my mind, I'm like, why do some people want to, downgrade the reputation of some institutes like UNEB? Because one, most Ugandans are faulting UNEB, but actually it could be the fault of the invigilators or the headmaster himself. Because if you know you have done this paper and the candidates are through with a certain paper exam, why don't you make sure you, as a head teacher, as an invigilator, as a supervisor, make sure that they've been handed over to the UNEB officials? I'm imagining what could have gone through the minds of the parents had it been that UNEB was not able to recover this from that specific primary school. But the good news is that UNEB is going to be marking these scripts for the candidates, and they will be awarded marks. But for the meantime, they had been tentatively awarded with X. So by the time senior one students are being enrolled, these other 34 candidates will have their exams results also portrayed. So I was like,
indeed, and I think for me, I would touch it more to the UNEB invigilators, the UNEB scouts, because ultimately at that point, everything UNEB is out of the hands of the school owners.
The school owners.
Yes.
But then they were found in the headmaster's
maybe that's
locker.
Locker of all places. Anyways. It's hard to make out certain events. But Robert, good morning, and what are you looking at?
Well, good morning to you, Julie.
I love your coffee brown jacket.
Oh, thank you. I love the color I want to mention for fear of blundering. It could be dark yellow, per se.
Yes, sir.
Of course,
go on, you're coming.
dark yellow.
It's called mustard yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know mustard anyway? Do you know mustard?
No, let
mustard
me go to
sauce.
something else.
Right.
I know that mustard seed in the Bible.
Oh, the book.
This Wednesday morning.
No. There is the book. Yes. That great book written by the one and only visionary leader of Uganda.
Yes.
Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. It's a very interesting book, though sometimes we put it out of context. But very brief, Joan talked about what happened in that particular school. But also, there is a tendency that schools are going to fleece parents. Now, if you have a child that is joining primary, or you want to take your child from one school to the other, and that primary have up to primary 7. Now, when you go to these schools to ask for their performance, this is what they are going to tell you. We do not show our performance.
Wait.
Oh.
You want a vacancy in a school and you tell them PLE results were out. Please, can we know how you performed as a school.
So that I
Now,
can make an informed decision.
So that I can make an informed decision.
Basing
If I'm
on your
going to give you
results.
my children,
Exactly.
I must know how you performed in primary living exams. Now, this is what they tell you. We did very well. Maybe we had a class of 50. We had 5 4s. We had 8 these. We had these. Now, when you ask for proof of that, they will tell you, Ministry of Education came up with a policy that we don't disclose our results. Even if you're a parent here, I only give you results of your child.
Why?
So now as a new parent in that school, what am I going to base on to give you my child? Now I went to one school along Entebbe Road. On the main road, I won't mention it, it's between Namasuba, it's between Zana and Namasuba. It's on a main road with very good buildings. As I was still being told that, a parent comes and the child has scored 15 and she's furious, saying, oh, I gave you this child in primary 1. Now this child has reached P7. I've been giving you a lot of money. The school has vans, it has a very good reception. There's even a swimming pool. It's along Entebbe Road between Zana and Namasuba on your way to Kampala.
On the left.
On the left.
I think I know
The
that.
parent was up, she was up in arms. But earlier I had told them, let me see the results at least.
And they hadn't mentioned of even
So I
the
think
They were
they
telling me they got
the
4s
and
they
8s
got
and
8s. Now after that I went back and I told the lady, but you see, said me, but which school except SETA what got 4s? These children performed very. I went to another.
outrage.
I went to another school. I found the same thing. I went to another school. I found the same thing.
Just for clarity, if I may understand, do they think that you want to study each child's performance, or you just want the statistics in general?
Yes, at least show me that this is. I remember our
Because
days.
as a parent, I think you only want the
Yes.
statistics, and back
Exactly.
in that day, before
Besides,
you nab,
you even don't know these
before you
particular students.
before you NEB stopped schools from displaying their pupils or students' results, back then they were displayed at the notice board.
Yeah,
You
true.
know,
And-
otherwise, schools are expensive. And now they want parents. I don't think this is what the ministry and UNEB thought, that we go blindly, you know, unless you want us to remain in those traditional schools where I now go to Budo Junior, I don't want to, I'll go to this school, those that at least you can know. But these other schools, parents cannot give you children blindly.
Yeah.
You know, by
true,
word
because
of the
by-
director of the school.
Yeah.
Very true indeed, and indeed, as the saying goes, take a cent or whatever. But also, if you think about it, education is expensive. And back in the day, we used to hear a word, standard. The school
Attainment
has one of the things I remember they used to base on as standard were buildings,
Yeah.
you know, the structure, the school infrastructure. But lately, yeah, it's quite a different story, as the word, the street language says, "Kuground vidalamu."
And you believe also, briefly, Honorable Mao still insists he's coming for the speaker.
Interesting.
He said he carries the legacy. Politics is very interesting. Honorable Mao said he carries the legacy of the late Jacob Oulanyah,
Wow, is it because
who
he's
was the
from
Speaker
Gulu?
of the 11th Parliament.
But
We
you know,
leave it
the
at
race
that.
for speakership is getting interesting. There are also some NRM MPs
Of
that are
course,
saying,
who are
But
opposing.
there's a story we
Exactly.
read here that SEC
Had endorsed.
and therefore they wouldn't be.
any other candidates.
Yes.
They're saying they're going to come
But
as
I know, I think,
independents.
Need to look
Honorable
for-
Bariamus is one of those who opposed
Yeah.
that endorsement.
Yeah.
But anyways, we do follow up on that interesting event of Parliament. After elections, the aftermath of the events of the aftermath are also rather interesting. And one of them is who the next Speaker of Parliament will be. But for now, Robert, take us away with what we have on the local scene.
Well, on the local scene, let me begin with peace in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Efforts by African nations to ensure there is peace. Now, the push for lasting peace in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo has taken a fresh regional turn as Africa leaders insist that African solutions must take center stage. The African Union, the East African Community, and SADC panel of facilitators now carried the message to Uganda, holding high-level talks with President Yoweri Museveni at State House in Entebbe. Togo President led the delegation of the African Union, the East African Community, and SADC panel of facilitators on a high-level working visit in Uganda. Former Nigerian President Olusegun Obasanjo reminded the leaders that the roots of the Congo crisis stretch back more than 6 decades. Obasanjo urged that while the problem is widely known, lack of consensus on its true diagnostics has delayed progress. The facilitators said they have already engaged leaders in Kinshasa, Kigali, and Bujumbura to the extent of listening to the armed groups. On his part, President Yoweri Museveni pointed out that Uganda is deeply familiar with the crisis and has heavy responsibility it carries as Africa's largest refugee hosting country. Museveni noted that despite decades of conflict, DRC has remained intact, something he described as a major opportunity. On the 14th of January 2026, Ugandans elected leaders for the 12th parliament, from presidency to grassroots councillors. In Lararo Pache division, Norbert Mao stood and won the parliamentary seat. He has also declared intentions to contest for the speakership, citing the need for fresh leadership. According to Mao, he meets all the constitutional requirements for the position of speaker. Mao further stated that he carries the legacy and values of the late Jacob Oulanyah, who served as the Speaker of the 11th Parliament. He described Oulanyah as a close friend, saying he shares similar leadership qualities and is determined to continue with his vision. In a related development, Mao also announced plans to dissolve 50% of the Democratic Party leadership across regions, citing incompetency and disrespect for the party structures. The remarks follow the poor performance of DP candidates in the recently concluded parliamentary and local government elections. Mao outlined several challenges that affected the party's performance, including allegations of NRM links with the Democratic Party, limited funding, particularly from IPOD. Mao urged DP members who lost in the election to unite, regroup, and rebuild the party. Security was tightened at Gombe Court in Butambala district as NUP MP Mohamed Muwanga Kivumbi and his co-accused were returned to court yesterday to face a judge on terrorism charges. This time, people were allowed to reach the court, but not allowed inside court, except Muwanga Kivumbi's mother, who spoke to her son. Lawyers Elias Lukwago, Segona Medad, Muyizi Samuel, Basalirwa Asuman, Kenneth Paul Kakande, and others were in this case, along with senior NUP officials led by the leader of opposition, Joe Senyonyi, Party Secretary General Louis Lubongoya, Butambala MP Aisha Kabanda, Zake Francis of Mitiyana, and other MPs attended in person. Kivumbi Mohammed is charged with terrorism. There are 24 others on the same charge, despite the opposition of the lawyers of the detainees, including Medad Segona, Elias Lukwago, Paul Kakande, Muyizi Samuel, and Asuman Basalira, and others. However, they tried to explain to the judge, Deogracius Sejembe, how to ease the case and handle it better after finding out that there were many injuries. The accused, A1 Muwanga Kivumbi, was charged but has not been given a statement till yesterday. Finally, from the local scene, the FDC leadership has decried electoral irregularities during the concluded presidential elections and called for a full implementation of electoral reforms as recommended by the Supreme Court following the 2016 Amama Mbabazi presidential election petition. Nathan Nandala Mafabi, who was the FDC presidential flag bearer in the January 15th elections, pulled a number of votes representing 1.88% of the total votes. He questioned the credibility of the results. Mafabi raised concerns over the conduct of the Electoral Commission, noting that the playing field was not leveled for all political parties. The party President General, Engineer Patrick Oboy Amriat, confirmed the party will channel its grievances to the public. Meanwhile, Mafabi, who also serves as the FDC Secretary General, said the party will support its members who have individually filed election petitions. The party called for concerted efforts from all stakeholders to ensure electoral reforms are implemented and leveled political ground is created for all parties in future elections. Efforts to get a comment from the electoral body were futile. Now, that brings us to the end of our local stories this morning. Let's see what Joan has for us on the international scene.
Of course, heading straight to the global coverage. In India, it is a sad story we are commencing with this early morning. There was a murder of an interfaith couple and the arrest of the woman's brothers by the police for the alleged crime that has shocked a small village in India's northern Uttar Pradesh state, where residents have lived in harmony for years. Now, the bodies of a 19-year-old Kajal, a Hindu, and 27-year-old Muhammadi Amani, a Muslim, were found buried near a riverbank on the outskirts of Umri village on 21st January. Police said they were beaten to death with a spade 2 days earlier, allegedly by Kajal's 3 brothers who have been arrested. They are in custody and have not committed on the killings. The murders have left an uneasy quiet hanging over Umri, 182 kilometers from India's capital, Delhi. The village is home to about 400 families from both Hindu and Muslim communities, and several residents told the BBC that they have shared a warm relationship without any history of religious disputes. Deputy Inspector General of State Police, Monraj G, told the BBC the police believe it to be a case of honor killing, murder by relatives or community members to punish women for falling in love or marrying outside of their caste or religion. India's National Crime Records Bureau began recording honor killings in 2014 when it listed 18 cases nationwide. Its latest annual report recorded 38 such cases in 2023. Activists, however, say the numbers are significantly higher, in hundreds every year, as many cases are recorded simply as homicide. And moving on, United States President Donald Trump has confirmed that talks with Iran are continuing to try to de-escalate tensions in the Gulf, even as the U.S. military announced shooting down an Iranian drone that it said approached its aircraft carrier in the Arabian Sea. Trump told reporters at the White House on Tuesday that Washington was negotiating with Iran right now, but declined to say where the talks were taking place. The talks are all over, but they are negotiating. They would like to do something, and we will see if something is going to be done. They had a chance to do something a while ago and didn't work out, he said. And we did Midnight Hammer. I don't think they want that happening again, he added, referring to the operation last June in which the U.S. Air Force and Navy struck 3 Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, Trump, who has been pushing Tehran to agree to talks over its nuclear program, has repeatedly threatened to attack the country over recent crackdown on anti-government protests and sent the USA Abraham Lincoln to the Gulf last week, leading to fears of a possible military confrontation. But tensions have been easing in recent days amid a push by regional powers for a resolution. Forging forward, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, son of Libya's former leader Colonel Muammar Gaddafi, has reportedly been shot dead. The death of the 53-year-old, who was once widely seen as his father's heir apparent, was confirmed by the head of his political team on Tuesday, according to the Libyan news agency. His lawyer told the AFP news agency a four-man commando unit carried out an assassination at his home in the city of Zintan, though it was not clear who may have been behind the attack. In a competing version of events, his sister told Libyan TV that he had died near the country's border with Algeria. Saif al-Islam Gaddafi was long seen as the most influential and feared figure in the country after his father, who ruled Libya from 1969 until being ousted and killed during an uprising in 2011. Now born in 1972, he played a key role in Libya's approachment with the West from 2000 until the collapse of the Gaddafi regime. After his father's removal, Saif al-Islam Gaddafi, who was accused of playing a key role in the brutal repression of anti-government protests, was jailed by a rival militia in the city of Zintan for almost 6 years. The International Criminal Court wanted to put him on trial for crimes against humanity for his alleged role in the suppression of opposition protests in 2011. And that brings us to the end of our global coverage. Yeah, on a sad note indeed.
I know, right?
You know, whenever we talk about Gaddafi, that man, may his soul rest in peace, had good plans for Africa. Look at the Gaddafi mosque. Look at the investments. He had very good plans for Africa. Now also the sun going. Libyans live to suffer, yet they were living in good times when Gaddafi was their leader. And it's a lesson to many African countries who think hope is in the West. You know, those funny things.
Especially with matters oil, you might as well be careful. Anyways.
Exactly. Gold, oil.
Gold and oil, yes. You might as well be careful, and this is the Ugandans. But now let's look at what we have in the dailies this morning, starting off with the New Vision. And of course, the interesting one is the race for speakership, Mao versus Among. This is going to be interesting. Looking at, it's not a by the way, if you think about it, looking at, of course, the northern wing versus politics. Is it party, being party aligning, or now it's about the northern region of Uganda? But also Olanya's memory, as Mao stated it, it's not for jokes. He has a point, and there are many people who follow him by that. Anyways, Tayebwa faces Basaja for deputy speaker.
That is Basaja, brother?
Yes.
Huh? If the NRM doesn't hold its decision,
leave alone holding the decision.
The SEC doesn't hold the decision. Basaja bala Tayebwa.
But the numbers, NRM, if the cadres decide to follow the party's
NRM,
both of them.
His own SEC, representing, I think, the entrepreneurs, something like that.
Yes. Entrepreneurs, yes.
And that man, wherever he touches, usually secures a win.
We await the events as they unfold.
An interesting race, if this can be.
I hope they're just not hyping
Regional
us.
leaders to meet, discuss DRC peace process. It's in the picture on the New Vision. Meanwhile, Uganda declares 2 U.S. citizen persona non grata. Wonder who those are? Government earmarks 2.2 trillion shillings for districts, and Harvest Money 2026 Expo launched. Looking at the Daily Monitor, of course, the headline there is high-flying airline CEO runs out of runway, says the Daily Monitor.
You know, I feel she's kind of a victim of circumstance.
Oh well, oh well, oh well. The law, the politics, the lies, the truth, who knows what.
Yeah.
Masaka vote recount opens old debate on ballot integrity. And Museveni lines up 6 witnesses to defend poll win in court. Meanwhile, why inmates posted better results in PLE? Very interesting. And of course, forgotten PLE scripts to be marked graded, just as John told us in the morning. And Mao eyes Among's speaker job. The Daily Monitor has that as well. You see what the Lizard has. Wasn't the runway customized for bombardiers? Referring to Jennifer Bamturachi's exit. Looking at the citizen in Tanzania. The citizen there, deportation paradox hits Tanzanians in U.S. and why smartphones may become more expensive in 2026. Now, MPs push for independent oversight to anchor Vision 2050, and Samia engages in crucial UAE meetings. But of course, there from literature to leadership, Ayeta Ann Wangusa's journey in culture and development. Now, I will say one of the things that interest me about the Citizen is their display of the headline and other news. Their display is very unique, very, very unique compared to the rest of our East African dailies. The Daily Nation, representing Kenya, how IEBC boss fate was sealed. And also revolving door, two previous chief executives of the Electoral Commission were also fired. Developers make billions from cheated home buyers. All those stories in the Daily Nation. And definitely that brings us to the end of what we have from the dailies. We close this off with a celebration. There is a very special person on the set of Good Morning Uganda, one who has served UBC TV for years. That is Auntie Christine. Today is her birthday.
Ooh, hooray.
Auntie Christine, happy birthday. Can you believe, I believe none of you were, maybe I don't know about Robert, but probably it's possible, that highly possible that none of us was born when she started working here.
Are you sure?
Yes, and she has diligently served. She challenges me with her work ethic. She challenges me with her work ethic. And Auntie Christine, you are treasured, you are loved, your work ethic is admirable, very inspiring, your legacy shines on. We love you here on set as the team of Good Morning Uganda, and definitely the whole team of UBC TV loves you and celebrates you on this day as you celebrate your birthday. So Auntie Christine, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday indeed. She
And
breaks the
also,
morning all the
just
time.
before we leave the set, we have talked about the race for speakership.
Yes.
It is not Hassan Basajja Baraba, senior, who is the NRM Entrepreneurship League, but it is the son.
Oh,
The-
the sun.
The MP is the
MP,
son.
who is the MP,
if
because the other one is
Obishe.
not an MP, therefore he cannot come as a speaker contest. Yes,
That the sun.
the son. So
Still want to look
if
forward
the
to.
father puts in proper effort,
I don't see that
the
coming through.
current, let me tell you.
No, I don't see that coming
Well,
through.
let's have a short break and enjoy some music. But when we get back, of course, we are looking at the conclusion of the election process that started many years back, not as many, of course, but from the Electoral Commission to us, the electorate who voted from the 15th until today, or maybe 6th. But today, 3N consultants will be coming through to talk to us. Today is the voting, local government voting at sub-county, town council levels, speaking to us about that, but also concluding this whole election process as they've been educating us on voting and elections. And of course, reminding you that Good Morning Uganda is proudly brought to you by the Ministry of not Education, pardon me. Because we're talking education. But the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, making sure that we do enjoy Uganda coffee every morning. One we also encourage you to buy as well. So if you have it, sip on it as you enjoy some music. But we'll be right back. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Live.
together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Good morning, Uganda. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. It's time for The Real, and welcome back from that short break. About 6 minutes after 7 a.m. Hopefully you are geared up and ready to go to your polling station to vote for that local government leader for your sub-county and town council level. But this morning, we are looking at security altogether. Stakeholders are definitely advised to maintain peace during these elections. We saw what transpired on the 15th of January and the elections that followed, that was at the LC5 level. Security was also not as good as expected. The elections that followed had a bit of calm there, and we look forward to that same calm being maintained today, especially as we begin to roll the carpet out for voting. But we are also looking deeper into it, especially with terms analysis. And to have this conversation with us is someone who's definitely not new. He's been part of Good Morning Uganda to discuss matters security with us, and that is Richard Bud Biamokama, who is a security studies scholar, to have this conversation with us. But you too can join, learn and relearn through this conversation. 0709 602 592. Good morning, Richard.
Good morning, Julie. Good morning, viewers. It is a pleasure to share with you once again here on the national broadcaster. So let's share together and see how, you know, our Uganda gets better, our lives keep getting better for God and my country.
True. Let's start off with your assessment since 15th January till date. What's your assessment of the security?
So, well, thank you so much. The situation so far, as we talk right now, is very moderate because the government and the state is trying to maintain the post-election security situation. You know, Uganda, for its case, it always has what we call a general election. So in some countries, some other countries, where they have elections but not general elections, you find that a country is going to elections but only presidential elections or parliamentary elections, so at a time. So then local government elections come during intervals. So, but in Uganda, it is always a general election. So it is all elections combined after a 5-year tenure. So those countries that have different tenures of office, you find, like, for example, a presidential tenure is 7 years as opposed to a local government tenure. So that is where the differences come in, and you find that these states are holding elections on different occasions. So, but for Uganda, it is a general election. So we hold general elections. So the government is trying to maintain the post-election security situation out there, depending on the dynamics. As I have always told you, that the dynamics in Kampala may not reflect the dynamics of those that exist in my hometown, Kagadi, or Hoima, or Kamonkoli in Budaka. So the dynamics are always different. So the situational dynamics are the ones that call for the various security deployments or security management mechanisms. So right now, I think the security situation is calm outside there. You can move without seeing military or police roadblocks within Kampala here, where we are staying. But in my hometown, Kagadi, there was not even any, military or police roadblock from election day up to now. So stakeholders in the elections, every actor in the election is a stakeholder. I'm a voter, I'm a stakeholder.
Right.
The Electoral Commission is a stakeholder. The Uganda police, we have seen the military is also a stakeholder, because people seem to have made it illegal for the military to be part and parcel of managing law and order and all that. So it is also a stakeholder as we speak. So there are many, the media, because you are here informing my people back in the village in Kagadi or all over Uganda. So you are also stakeholders. So every actor in the elections is a stakeholder. So if we talk about security, so we simply mean that everybody, every stakeholder, every actor is supposed to do what he's entitled to do in a just and right manner. So we have seen cases of, showcasing cases of, conflict between stakeholders, and different actors. So we have also seen some cases of violence during the previous elections. Violence either on security personnel or by security personnel, but we strongly, as a security scholar and as a citizen of Uganda, I strongly condemn any intent of violence or any intent of use of violence against a legitimate government, because we have an outgoing government. The government of President Museveni is outgoing right now, because we are, after swearing in May, we shall be having a new government. So this, the outgoing government has a mandate to keep law and order throughout the country. So it is, you can't, it is very, the consequences, the costs of, any attempt to use violence against a legitimate government is, the costs are always so high. They are always met with reprisals, arrests and all that, prosecution. Right. So the state actors, which include the police, the judiciary, always there on standby to ensure that any orchestrator of the said violence is always, apprehended and all that. So I strongly condemn.
Right. And just to interject right there, still remaining, throwing a light from your assessment, over 400 arrests were made during this election season, especially on election day for presidency and members of parliament. As someone who has studied security and is an expert at that, what does that tell? What does that number tell?
Well, in a country that has institutions, functioning institutions, and in a democratic state, we believe that arrests are normal. But the way how you handle these arrests, because you may carry out an arrest that is normal, then in the process of the arrest, it becomes arbitrary. Arbitrary is something that is against the law. So you have to follow the protocols, the 48-hour rule, because when you detain me for over 48 hours, then the arrest becomes arbitrary. So it was illegal on the onset, but in the process of arrest, it has become arbitrary by you detaining me over 48 hours in police custody. So you have to take me, the suspects, the arrested citizens have to be taken to courts for prosecution. So when people are taken to courts, they are identified, they are formally charged. So they take plea of guilty or innocent. So after taking plea, then courts can decide on their fate. You are either guilty or innocent. So it is not about, in other countries, in non-democratic states, when you are arrested for opposing a government, you are executed. You are either executed there and there, or put in dungeons for some reasonable time, or you even disappear. So in the previous governments, we have seen, we read about disappearances in the previous governments. So I believe an arrest is normal in a country where there is rule of law, where the security is proactive. Because
and to that, by the way, let me also add that the deaths that took place, as arrests were being made, over 400 of them. Of course, at the same time, there were deaths going on in line with managing security. So what do you assess of that? What does it say from an expert's point of view? Of course, to the electorate, on that day, I happened to be within spaces where there were bullets, where there were people running all over the place for safety. And of course, to the electorate, there was fear, there was a lot of tension. But from an expert, a security expert's POV and vantage, paint a picture of what this means. What do those numbers say? What can we learn from them? What can we take?
Thank you so much. Before I went into security studies, I first went through law school. So
right.
I'm also a lawyer. But in my law school, they told me that extrajudicial murders are illegal. Extrajudicial. So those extrajudicial means killing someone or killing anybody will be before taking him to courts. So we presume as lawyers that any murder should be a natural death or a death that is after a court sentence. That is a death that is allowed before the law. So, but any death that occurs, at the hands of security or any actor that is not out of those two causes is an extrajudicial murder, is an extrajudicial killing. But as a country, we have had, a country does security analysis, and this election has been highly anticipated, and most foreign actors always want to use election period to destabilize the nations. So you have seen countries that have gone, that have witnessed election cases, they have gone to elections, but they have not managed to recover from these elections. I can give you examples in Malawi, in Equatorial Guinea. After elections in Equatorial Guinea, Alpha Conde, immediately after elections, he was overthrown by the junta. So you have seen in Gabon, there was a coup immediately after the election. So foreign actors always want to use election periods to manipulate the citizens or the security apparatus to overthrow regimes or cause instability. So as for the murders, the security or the Uganda police is the one that should answer that, why there was that, what was the assessment, in risk management. So those officers do what we call risk management. So in risk assessment, you have to see how you can try to mitigate the risk. So if the mitigation was that way, so they should answer. They are the ones to answer. Yes.
Now, let's look at lessons that we can draw from the security environment through this election period. What lessons can we draw and should we carry as Ugandans and all stakeholders at that?
Well, the security lessons, you see, Julie, nations have varying threats. So the deployment that you saw maybe in Kampala, because during the election period, I was in Kagadi. I didn't see any rough security deployment. I didn't see any security beatings or, tear gassing and all that. I was in Kagadi. I didn't hear about it in Hoima, because in Hoima, Kagadi and Hoima, they are neighbors, but in Hoima, it is the opposition that won. My long-time friend Kasule is of ANT. Of course, he's my friend for a long time, has been my friend. He won. Nyakato Asinas is of PFF. She won. So, but there was no that rough security deployment like we saw in Kampala. So the threat assessment in Kampala duplicates or indicates the levels of deployment, because Kampala, most of the destabilization that have occurred in the elections have always targeted major cities. For example, when you see the post-election situation of Malawi, it definitely targeted the capital, Lilongwe. So it is always capital-centered. So the security about the lessons we can learn, it is that every nation has its security threats, and the deployments depend on the assessment. So another lesson is that the country has the ability to manage its internal security mechanisms. We have seen states that have had fallen a breakdown, a complete breakdown in law and order. You have seen Haiti. Haiti even requested for Ugandan police officers to go and maintain law and order in Haiti recently. So it is only Kenya that deployed its Kenyan police to Haiti, and it is still there up to now. So yes, we have had the security. The Uganda police has had some excesses, but we should also apprehend some achievements of the ability to maintain law and order. So in circumstances where there have been complete breakdown of law and order after elections, we have seen there have been a lot of complete excesses. For example, in Congo, where in the previous elections, there was a complete breakdown of law and order, and the stakes were so high. So we should commend the Uganda police and other security actors, it's in the intelligence. So I don't really, as a scholar and as a lawyer, I don't really recommend the military being in managing law and order, so I won't recommend it for that. So,
right. Yeah. We are looking at matters. Peace stakeholders advised to maintain peace during this election season. Today, Ugandans go to vote their local government leaders at sub-county and town council levels, and it's countrywide. And peace is something that we must maintain as Ugandans. So we're looking into the detail of it, what it means to have peace, have security or not have security, and the impact of it. Our guest, Richard Bad Byamkama, indeed has painted a picture of what is happening in other countries post-elections, what peace they lack right now post-elections, and of course commends the job of the Uganda police, commends the security that we do have and the peace that we still maintain. We're still able to maintain thus far as the elections also start to roll the carpet out. Now, what I want to know from you or hear your perspective on is what responsibilities you think political party leaders and party supporters have at this stage as we begin to roll the carpet out. But before we get to your answer, let me read a comment. that comes in from our viewer, Isaac Wanzala Wazaks Aizo in West Nile. You say that my question is why RDCs in most areas, they want to involve in elections and take things personal, yet Electoral Commission is meant to be independent, but not working from order from above or from the other side. I'm not so sure if Richard is able to speak into this, but perhaps there's a security perspective to this question.
Well, yeah, I did some course in managing public security. So while I was doing that course, I learned it that these are the heads of security in district. So not until we revise that, if at all there are complaints about that, there should be a policy. You know, these are constitutional. The office is established by the Constitution. So there must be a constitutional review to amend that. You know, if there are complaints about RDCs being involved in security matters and all that, so there should be a constitutional review because maybe people give reasons like there are DPCs, there are DSOs and all that. So there is an overlapping mandate between who actually heads security at district. So not until we revise that, RDCs remain crucial and party to election management at lower local levels, at district levels, or at their respective areas of jurisdiction. But what they are not supposed to do is that partisan politics of campaigning and all that. But in security management, they are part and parcel. Yeah.
So as he has stated it here, they are not, because his question is, RDCs in most areas want to involve in elections, which ideally should not be the case.
Well, yeah, electioneering, the security is part and parcel of electioneering.
Right.
So you can't do elections without security, and that is where the RDCs come in. So the only distinction that I will tell Wanzara is that try to monitor these RDCs not to involve in local partisan politics of dictating on who they say the electorate should vote and all that. So that is completely illegal. Yeah.
Let's look at the responsibility of party leaders, political party leaders, and party supporters. What role, responsibility, duty do they have at this stage that we're at as we look forward to post-elections?
Yeah, you see, political parties are fundamental in democracy, and elections are also fundamental in democracy. So in a post-election situation where we had elections, that political parties now, different political parties fielded candidates on different levels, even on today's polls. There are many political parties acting today. So I believe it is the duty and the responsibility of these several political parties to work hand in hand with the elected government to ensure that the country remains stable and there is peace and security in the country, because we are all citizens of this country. We are not going anywhere, and when there is when there is a breakdown in law and order or any form of insecurity, it is the citizens to suffer. It is all of us to suffer.
Sure.
So you see, insecurity doesn't care that I'm NRM or I'm NUP or I'm DP. So security is for all of us. Is a universal. We call it a universal good for everybody. So yes. So when there is insecurity, the people in Chikubo will not work. My mother in Kagadi will not do her business. So security is very vital for the daily, the routine activities or survival of citizens in Uganda or man.
Right.
So yeah, that is why we call it a universal good for universal consumption. So, and I believe these political parties should play a role in ensuring that these political, the citizens remain peaceful after. More often, these political parties have been the ones orchestrating, spearheading post-election violence in some countries. Yes, we have seen in countries where these political parties have come up to either reject elections or call for post-election violence, like demonstration, or complete use of violence against opponents. So, but for that case in Uganda, I will apprehend this. I will recommend these political parties for not doing such, because we have seen many of these political parties. We saw yesterday there was a press briefing of FDC, which was an actor in a very vital actor in the recently concluded election. So they rejected the election results, but they are going to use legal means.
Right.
So we saw Kasivante going to courts. So there are means, there are avenues of
through
how
which these matters can be handled.
Definitely.
Right. Thank you very much, Richard Bad Biamukama, security scholar at that, who's been speaking with us in regards to maintaining peace during this election season. As advised, we are all stakeholders. You're a voter, a presiding officer, an agent, a political party leader, a candidate. All of us expected to maintain peace as we go to the polls today, this morning, up to 4 p.m. to vote for local government leaders at sub-county and town council levels. Peace is key. Takeaways and points to learn for you to chew on as you think about matters your country. Extrajudicial murder is illegal, but also RDC's head security at the district level. For now, this conversation comes to the end. I want to thank you, Richard, for coming through and educating Ugandans and inspiring them here on UBC TV. Up next is GMU Tourism Express. Business as well is coming your way. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda. Tarehe Sita is celebrated in Uganda to commemorate the start of the National Resistance Army's liberation struggle on 6th February 1981, an attack on Kabamba Barracks, leading to the NRM's rise to power in 1986 and the formation of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The day symbolizes the foundation of the People's Army, national unity, and the ongoing commitment to peace, security, and socio-economic transformation. On Friday, 6th February 2026, the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Defending the Gains of the Revolution and Honoring the Sacrifices of the Freedom Fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. The celebrations will take place at the National Teachers College grounds in Kabale Municipality. The activities will be relayed live on UBC TV.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
My question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax. How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790 141 887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
my question is, what is the difference between rental tax and income tax? How comes I'm paying both taxes on my own premises? If you want to have a tin, but you are not making any income from your business, you should take on the obligation to continue filing your nil return.
Commissioner General, to invest in taxation. When people understand taxes and they know the importance of taxes and they know the fair assessment of these taxes they're supposed to pay, I think everybody will embrace taxation.
As banning groupage cargo, clearance protects small traders who cannot afford to import full container loads individually and rely on consolidation to remain competitive. Cargo to come in groupage is consolidation, it's legitimate, and we can't ban it. What we have banned, or what we have stopped, is the use of container leaders. Now, Fiona, the good news I have for you is that among the new tax proposals,
Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790 141 887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Tune in to UBC News Tonight every Monday and Wednesday for expert insights and clear explanations. Buza Commissioner.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
UK
can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Every Wednesday, live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
So this is Kasubile Tombs, which is the official burial site for the last 4 kings of Uganda and the other members of the royal family. And actually, Kasubile Tombs is the only cultural site here in Uganda which is under UNESCO. Yeah, Uganda, we are blessed with 3 UNESCO sites. One of them is called the Bwindi, where we have gorillas, we have Mountain Renzori National Park, and the Kasubile Tombs. But what makes Kasubile Tombs special, it is the only cultural site which is under UNESCO, because the other 2 are natural areas. So the place was inscribed on the list of UNESCO in 2001. Reason being that the place exhibits a living heritage, which is characterized by the heritage royal guards. We have the active royal drums, we have the active royal fireplace, we have the symbolic king's wives, and also the main tomb house, which is the biggest brass thatched hut in the whole world. So now we are standing at the main gate, which is locally known as Bujabukula. And Bujabukula literally means that the kingdom is continuing to grow. In the history of this place, this house is believed that it was the first house to be established in this place by 1882 by Kabaka Mutesa I. You know, initially our King Mutesa I was living at Rubaga Hill, but around the years of 1882, there was outbreak of smallpox, which forced our king to transfer his capital from Rubaga, and he came here. So when the king came here, this was the first house he established in this place, and the king used to stay here before the completion of the main palace. So when the king shifted the main palace, he left this one to his royal guards, and currently this house is acting as the main gate, at the same time the quarter guard, being occupied by the 2 royal guards for the king. So we have the principal royal guard, he's called Mulamba, from Mushroom clan, and he's in charge of the outdoors. Then he's assisted by Insigo from Buffalo clan, who is in charge of the indoors. And both of them are hereditary. What I mean, they are not the original guards, but they're descendants to the original guards. For instance, Insigo, one of the loyal guards from Buffalo clan, he came here when he was only 16 years. But last year, we actually celebrated his birthday of 100 years, which literally means that he has been here serving as a loyal guard for the last 84 years. So when he goes back where he came from, I'm not sure where he came from, but his son will be the one to take over. So those are some of the factors that influenced UNESCO to add this place on the list of the World Heritage Sites, because of the heritage which is kept flourishing generation after generation. So the house is decorated like a basket, which is turned upside down, and it has got these rings. And 99% of the materials here, they are purely organic materials, like vegetal materials. For instance, we have the reeds, we have the spear grass, we have the tree poles, we have the barks of the trees, which literally mean that they keep on rehabilitating this house by removing the old materials and replace them with the new ones. But in the apex here, we have got these special forings, being some of the original components of this house ever since it was established. It is believed that these rings were made and raised by the king himself, that was Kabaka Mutesa I. And the first ring in the middle represents the king himself, and was actually measured on the size of the king's head. Then we have the second ring, represents the members of the royal family, the third one representing the clan leaders, and the last one, the fourth one, represents the rest of the people in the kingdom, which literally means that the entire Buganda fraternity is represented here. So in case one of them suddenly falls down, the current king is the one in charge of putting it back. plus a lot of rituals which are performed. So they are untouchables. They are some of the original components of this house ever since it was established. And the house is decorated with low entrances, such that each and every individual who comes here must bow his or her head as though paying maximum respect to the king. So there is no way you can access the king's palace minus bowing, either knowingly or unknowingly, either intentionally or unintentionally. You find yourself bowing. Yeah. So, as we said, it's like a basket turned upside down with these rings. You know, our kingdom is clan-based, whereby you have over 56 clans, and these rings are supposed to be representing the clans of our kingdom. But since this house is small, they cannot tally to the total number. But when you proceed in the main house, we shall see the number of rings being equivalent to the number of clans. So they symbolize the clans of our kingdom. As I said, that most of the materials are vegetal materials. 99% of the materials are vegetal materials. It literally means that they keep on rehabilitating the house by removing the old materials and replace them with the new ones. However, we have innovations like this slab cement. Those ones were introduced in the years of 1938 by our king. By then he was known as King Daudi Chwa, after visiting Europe, and he came up with some modernities. But 99% they are purely organic materials. That's why the house is considered to be a masterpiece of African architecture and human creativity.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Your true asset in building wealth is not touched by economics. It's not touched by politics. Neither is it touched by wars. But your true asset in building a solid financial future is you that gives the priority as to what asset to develop. You build your mind, you build your fortitude, you build your networks to build then your financial future will follow. Welcome back from Tourism Express that is proudly brought to you by the Uganda Tourism Board. Let's now head for our economic reporting. My name is Joan N. Murunji. Good morning once again. And for those of you who are just joining us, you are watching UBC Inspiring Uganda. As always, let's commence with our agri-business news, as Uganda's agriculture sector is set for a boost following our partnership between Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub to improve farmer access to quality, affordable agri-inputs while combating counterfeit products and strengthening food security across the country. Here is the report.
The Uganda Muslim Supreme Council has partnered with the Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub to improve agricultural production through the supply of quality, affordable agri-inputs and farmer support services.
We are here as Uganda Muslim Supreme Councils, one, to encourage and inform the public from our structures and the general public that Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub and Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, they are now one company called the Halal Farmers Center here. More specifically, we are to open 87 branches across the country to give halal products. We've seen that it is only through our Greek that we can uplift the standards of our communities, both Muslims and non-Muslims. A case in a point, we're encouraging and we're informing the general public and the communities surrounding us that Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub and Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, we entered a partnership to uplift our standards and also improve food security. That is always, at times, a problem in certain parts of the country.
Under the arrangement, Uganda Muslim Supreme Council and Matuga Industries will operate under a single brand, Alali Farmers Center. Deputy Secretary General for Planning and Development at Uganda Muslim Supreme Council, Alinda Abdurazak, said the initiative was endorsed by the Mufti of Uganda to address persistent challenges facing farmers.
Looking at the agri-inputs on market, most of them, if not fake, then they are adulterated. Number two, the higher prices coupled with monopoly of some of the agri-input producers who are putting these products in the market with high prices.
Executive Chairperson of Matuga Industries and Logistics Hub Limited, Ayat Fiona Migadde, said the company will bring quality products and expert advice closer to farmers. Currently, headquartered in Chibuye, the Halali Farmers Centers are set to expand countrywide, contributing to improved productivity, food security, and farmer livelihoods.
The season is approaching. It is the rainy season. We have been waiting for the rains and we have seen signs of rains. It's time for you to go and look for quality inputs, and this is where the problem starts. Having low quality inputs, low quality seeds, low quality chemicals that you're using, low quality and poor advice. So I encourage you to come to the farmers centers, the halal farmers centers across the country, to seek advice, to seek good quality inputs, to seek good seeds, to seek and to say no to counterfeit products.
Officials clarified that the initiative will eliminate fake existing agro-input dealers to ensure farmers access original products at fair prices. Robert Katamba and Ken Tanaba reporting for UBC TV News.
And moving on from that, let's look at our supply chain analysis. And Ugandan business owners have embraced online marketing and delivery services, moving away from purely traditional methods of trade. The shift is being driven by changing consumer habits and a growing demand for convenience. Let's look at the analysis.
We also work. 4, 3.
From food outlets to retail stores, online marketing and delivery services are becoming a key pillar for business growth. At Java House, Uganda, a popular food outlet that has expanded to more than 10 branches across the country, proprietors say delivery services and online trade remain the future of business.
We have an online portal. We also work with a couple of aggregators, yeah? And so we're able to deliver a meal close to you at any time. 97% of everything we buy in this market is produced in Uganda. So for every new restaurant that we build, a restaurant alone employs 30 to 40 young Ugandans.
Clients prefer accessing services at their convenience, whether from home or the workplace. Industry experts note that convenience is a major driver of consumer behavior in urban centers where time constraints and traffic congestion influence buying decisions. While uncertainty remains part of doing business, especially with rising costs and competition, companies like Java House are using technology to cut down on operational risks.
I think that market that's looking at online delivery is looking for convenience. We're all busy, there's traffic, we have families, we have work, and they want to be able to have a Java product at home or in the office. We are very fortunate that a lot of our guests, because that's what we call them, our guests will interact with the brand multiple ways. So somebody will stop by in the morning for a coffee, will order a meal for lunch, and maybe will buy some cookie or bread for their family. So we are able to serve the consumer in all the different touch points. But the consumer who is looking for delivery is growing. They're growing.
Digital platforms help businesses manage uncertainty by improving efficiency, expanding customer reach, and creating more predictable demand. Reporting for ABC TV, Helen Barbara and Ngabo Amon.
Welcome back, Helen and Amon. Let's look at your money today within our forex rates. Let's see how the various currencies held up as of 3rd February 2026 by Bank of Uganda. Starting off with the US dollar that bought at 3,567.23 and sold at 3,577.23. By midday, the dollar bought at 3,562.23 and sold at 3,572.23. By close of business, the dollar bought at 3,561.05 and sold off at 3,571.05. Whereas the Great British Pound bought at 4,874.00 and sold at 4,888.59. The euro there bought at 4,203.46 and sold off at 4,215.98. And from the neighbors, the Kenyan shilling bought at 27.58 and sold at 27.70. The Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.36 and sold off at 1.39. Whereas the South African rand bought at 223.34 and sold at 224.04. We always bring you the rates of forex each and every morning here on GMU. Do not forget the Good Morning Uganda is proudly sponsored by Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries. Drink Ugandan coffee, it's our nature. Coming up is Julie with the agenda tackling local government elections. Thank you for accompanying us this morning. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, you can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Genshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Tarehe Sita is celebrated in Uganda to commemorate the start of the National Resistance Army's liberation struggle on 6th February 1981, an attack on Kabamba Barracks, leading to the NRM's rise to power in 1986 and the formation of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The day symbolizes the foundation of the People's Army, national unity, and the ongoing commitment to peace, security, and socio-economic transformation. On Friday, 6th February 2026, the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Defending the Gains of the Revolution and Honoring the Sacrifices of the Freedom Fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. The celebrations will take place at the National Teachers College grounds in Kabale Municipality. The activities will be relayed live on UBC TV.
every Wednesday live in our studios in the heart of Kampala.
We have to change the political culture in this country, really. Who has bewitched Ugandans?
I want to assure you, as government, we shall do whatever it takes to ensure that Ugandans are safe.
We have conversations that have analysis, explanation.
This law society, this union of theirs, because they want a job everywhere, they want to be this, they want to be that, they want... No. We know it's a union.
You cannot be making a road, bitumen grade 1, in Congo for 5 billion.
But not every truth is fact, and not every fact is truth.
The argument that the General Court Martial is responsible for peace and stability is without basis, either in law or in fact.
We have been told how Napoleon was a great orator. Now, Napoleon cannot help me get food. They told me combine harvest in Saskatchewan. I don't know where Saskatchewan is. This is a geography we're taught. Instead of teaching me how to preserve Mabera forest, they're teaching me about Rhineland. This is a problem we got. We cannot run away from it.
Right now, you hear very disgusting stories of members of parliament. Instead of discussing the details of loans, they ask for their cuts.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
All on your public broadcaster. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Senior Citizens Grant.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for watching UBC TV. Welcome back from the business desk with Joan. It's time for the agenda, and we're looking at local government elections for this year 2026, which are happening today. And of course, it's the race for division chairpersons and councillors. But also the same day, it was appointed by the Electoral Commission that polling day for local government council elections in the various electoral areas across the country where polling was not conducted or not concluded on the previously appointed polling dates due to unforeseen circumstances would be held today. So be aware of that in case you did not cast your vote, or rather you did not get the result, the final result of your vote. Today was the day appointed for that re-election. Now, as we get to the tail end of this election process today, Ugandans are expected indeed to turn up. It's already 8, meaning that voting started already. And hopefully you are planning, in case you're not yet there, you are planning to head to your polling station to vote for your local government leader, your division chairperson, your local council leader, LC3, to vote for them and then head to work. Your vote counts and it actually matters. But it also means that this particular day that now the election season, the voting season, is starting to roll its carpet out, so that we move on to the next item on the agenda. Now we are throwing light into this with 3N consultants, and of course to use this as well as a point of concluding this whole process. To have this conversation with us is Wavamono, pardon me, my mind almost read another name, but it's Godfrey Wavamono, who is a senior consultant at 3N Consultants, but he's also an election expert at that, who has been educating us on voter education, election education, as far as his mandate, as far as the mandate of 3N Consultants, and he's back again, indeed, to conclude this process. And I'll start off with a vote of thanks, saying thank you to you, Mr. Wavamono, and the whole team for tirelessly making sure that we are educated. It's been quite the journey, not just here on UBC, but even on ground through the whole process. It's a
Yeah.
pleasure having you.
Thank you. Good morning, Judith, and thank you very much for hosting us. You've been quite very important person in this journey of elections, and particularly you have hosted us for close to 3 months, really, here at UBC TV. We are very grateful to the management of UBC, the staff, and particularly to you.
Humbled. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Good morning, Julie. Thank you for the show. I'm David from Kanungu. David, thank you so much for being on the show and looking forward to your participation as well as you being impacted by this conversation. Now, just like David, be part of these conversations. UBC is here to inspire you, and as always, there's a point to learn and relearn. And I hope you are gearing up indeed to go cast your vote for your local council leader and division chairperson, because it's very important that you cast that vote. Now, let's start off, Mr. Ovamuno, from for the benefit of our audience. What is the importance of local government elections, especially the ones we are voting for today?
Yeah, thank you very much, Julie. And dear viewers out there, yes, elections are conducted every 5 years, in some countries 4 years. This is the gist, you voters who are out there, because the elections of the local council, especially the sub-county, the towns, councils, and municipal divisions, this is where you people belong. This is where the ordinary people stay. These are the people with whom you interact on a daily basis. And you can even imagine, if you want a passport, the first person you go to is the LC1 chairperson, and then you move to the sub-county. So these are the leaders, the local, in your location, who are mandated really to get you the services that you deserve most. You want water, you want good roads, you want everything, schools. Really, the sub-county are the units. The sub-county chairpersons, councillors are the people you interact with to ensure that whatever services you want from government as it trickles down to your village are concerned. So that's the importance, because these are the very people we interact with on a daily basis for service delivery.
And just for breadth, in line still with that particular one would wonder, yes, it's service delivery and they're near to me, but can you help us paint a picture elaboratively of what key roles these leaders at LC3 play in line with making sure that service delivery has been achieved, but also local governance altogether? From LC5, we looked at LC5 from that same angle, even the election thereafter was through that same light. But what exactly does the one at LC3 that we are voting for today exactly do? How do they do it? What does it look like?
Oh yes, thank you very much, Julie. Look, here, when the appropriation of funds by Parliament is done for that money to move down to wherever you stay, wherever you are. Take an example of PDM. The money is disbursed. We hear this time it may be in trillions. If God willing, it may even be doubled. But whatever you have been getting from the central government, you know, we are in the decentralization system. So decentralizing meaning that the services of the local leaders is best felt and amplified at your station. Now, when these sub-county chairpersons get the resources from the central government, it comes down based on the planning and the roadmap and then the work plans that have been conducted or designed at sub-county, that's when the finances come down to the sub-counties, and it is the sub-county senior assistant secretary who is the technical person, with the chairperson of LC3, to sit down with the council and appropriate the funds to go to the water sources, to repair roads, to repair or even construct schools in your locality. So it is a very important segment of this of local governance that really gives the grassroots the services that they deserve most. It is a very, very important segment. Without it, in fact, everything trickles through the sub-county to you, wherever you are. Without, that's how services come.
Very profound. And if you look at it or think about it, especially if you've been active at local council election processes, you notice that LC3 is rarely given the much needed attention it deserves by those who are supposed to vote. Why do you think people take it unserious?
Yeah, thank you very much, Julie, for that question. It is true. You see, what most people carry at high is the president. You see, once the presidential elections are given much attention, why? One, they have the authority about the resources. They are the people who decide on top there the resources to be dispatched to the security and the general welfare of the state. Now, people give a lot of attention to the presidential elections, maybe parliamentary, because that's where major decisions are conducted. But when it comes to these ones, are just the LC3 at the LC3 level. Most of the resources are already decided. They are just dispersed to them to ensure that they are, whatever they want is implemented at that level. So that's why they are already covered up when presidential and parliamentary campaigns are done. So it's very difficult for people to feel now the sub-county, because these are small, in fact, the smallest units you could call about. You could not so much at the small unit, like a sub-county.
Small unit, yet most important.
Yeah, yet most important, true.
Yes. 0709 602592. It's the WhatsApp number that you should type to by typing, not calling. Text WhatsApp and be part of the show. Share your opinion, ask your question, and enable us answer in response effectively here with Mr. Wavamuno Godfrey, who is a senior consultant at 3N Consultants and also an election expert. That means he has witnessed a number of them, exercised and been part of many election cycles, where he gets the plethora of knowledge, but also the expertise and authority to speak into these matters and educate you, a Ugandan, as to how important it is for you to vote and how you must vote at that. 0709 602 592. Now, you have been at the grassroots of the regions mandated to you by the Electoral Commission, as well as being here on UBC TV, educating Ugandans on voting. Through the whole process, what has been your main focus as 3N Consultants?
Thank you very much, Julie, for that question. At 3N Consultants, we dispersed our staff to the regions, as you stated, and we gave them the guidelines to go down to the grassroots, talk to the people, so that people know how to vote, when to vote, and what to vote. Because those were the main guidelines we gave our staff, and as we continued also moving to those areas, supervising what was going on, and at the same time coming here to educate the people. In the first place, voters were informed that you have a right if you are registered. First of all, we had to tell them, but please go and register to vote the leaders of your choice when time comes. We did that. And indeed, quite a number of people went, registered, transferred their voting locations, and got themselves on the National Voters Register or in the national database. Now, from there, we continued engaging them that when time comes, you have to vote. And we explained so many voting stages which these people must have followed, right from presidential now down to today's elections. Whereby presidential, we told them the president, the members of parliament, those are the direct members of parliament, the women members of parliament, those who live in cities, the chairpersons of cities, the chairpersons of districts, the councillors of cities, and the councillors of cities, of districts. Now, today, it is, in fact, the whole country should be in the voting mode, because all districts have sub-counties. All districts have town councils. In fact, most districts which don't have cities have headquarters are located in town councils. So every district has a town council. The other districts have more than even 10, and others have even 15 and above sub-counties. So we went ahead and explained to the voters how to go about all these. It would be just, maybe people forget, but we informed them. Even the time, we have been doing this by given the mandate given to us by the Electoral Commission.
All right. Yes. Very profound. Yeah. Hello, good morning, Uganda. This is Ronnie from Ginger. Ronnie, thank you so much for being on the show. Good morning. As Mr. Wavumuno has said, this is very important that these elections are taken seriously, that everyone should participate in. You can't do without these leaders. They are the ones who deliver services down to common citizens. Rush and vote them in. This is Drunk Adinaitwe from Mbarara. Thank you, Drunk, for being on the show. Now, compared to the election cycle that has been, the past elections that we've had in this cycle, in this particular cycle, right from presidency, the far we've come up to today, what are your expectations for today's voter turnout?
Yeah, really, thank you very much, Julie. Today's voter turnout is expected to be higher than the municipality and maybe district, because those are a bit distant from the local persons. Now, this one, the turnout should be there because you're now voting the very people you share with in the markets, in the shops, in villages and everything, so that you go and give them. Today you vote your chairperson, LC3, you vote your directly elected councillor to the sub-county, the women representative to the sub-county, then the youth, female youth to the sub-county, the male youth to the sub-county, then the PWD, PWD to the sub-county, and even the elder, yes, the male elder persons to the sub-county, the female elder persons to the sub-county. So you can see, these are the people who are going to represent all your views, your aspirations to the sub-county. The sub-county, of course, in the sub-county we have the parishes and then cells. But when it comes to towns, we have the wards and the wards representing the parishes, and then the cells. Yes. Now, so the same with the municipal divisions.
Right.
So really, we expect a lot of of people, voters, to throng all the polling stations as early as we expect you people to have done, and end the polling at 4 p.m. and then come around, you witness the counting of your votes, and then celebrate and enjoy the living with your councillors and chairpersons.
Very profound at that. And in the next question I would ask then is, do you think these candidates or leaders to be actually know their mandate? Because it looks like many a times the people voted into these spaces of power, especially at the local government level, don't seem to know what to do. And therein, I imagine, wonder or ask, can't still consultancy agencies like 3N still coming now from sensitizing voters to now sensitizing the newly elected local council leaders as to what they're supposed to do?
Oh, that's great, Julie. Surely, many of these people voted, councillors, or even other leaders voted in various positions. Very many don't know a lot about what they are supposed to do. It is now our mandate. It is indeed our request and pleasure to engage with various stakeholders. In fact, to start with, we should also even give guidelines on what to do right from Parliament. If they engaged us, we would go as 3N consultants and take them through maybe a week or some days as they may request, but they should engage us to take them through, members of Parliament, to know what they're supposed to do. Then from there, we can move to the district chairpersons, the city chairpersons, and their councillors throughout the country. Indeed, they need guidance. Now, today's leaders who are being elected, definitely a good number do not know what to do. But it is now the services of 3N which you can tap, and really we take you through, and you become, once you are knowledgeable on what to do, then you will never clash or you will never fail to deliver. So that is our mandate. We are very grateful for that one, and in fact, we are at this material point requesting the stakeholders to engage 3N to ensure that our people are served properly by inducting and sensitizing the leaders.
On that note, and in the same spirit, let me also now turn it back to us who receive the services. If you could give an elaborate picture and as to why these people are voted in, what are we supposed to expect from them? Because why I ask, it's lately the common statement at the grassroots is, let me vote for you so that you also go and eat. And you think a whole Ugandan, a whole citizen, one who has a national ID, has lessened their value to giving someone to go eat. So, you know, satisfy their intentions, personal, individual intentions, as opposed to serving and adding value block by block onto the whole nation of Uganda. So could you just take us through what exactly we're supposed to expect from the president, what exactly we should demand from the president, what we should demand from our member of parliament, what we should demand from our district chairperson, what we should demand from our mayor, what we should demand from our local council leader?
Yeah, thank you very much. That is a very elaborate, that it demands for an elaborate explanation, but however, let me try to delve through. And now, for the president, oh yes, the nation, all the citizens, 45 million plus, expect the first is protection. They must be secure. All citizens should be secure, so they expect that one, a mandate of the president, to ensure that the citizens of this country, and even to guard and protect their whatever they have. And then that's one. Two, to get the services they need. They need water, they need health facilities with drugs, they need very good roads so that they can market whatever they are producing. They need even good markets, okay? They need markets for their products, and then they will feel very, very happy. Once those are fulfilled by the president, then very true security, markets for their produce, welfare, good health, and then good roads, good water or safe water things, and good schools, then and an assurance that at least their children will be in school all the time during school time. That is great from that side. Now the members of parliament, of course, are expected to do their jobs, to appropriate, and then the supervisory role to ensure that what government has dispersed to their constituencies is properly utilized. That is their oversight role in brief. And then it comes to the districts. Yes, various districts have got various challenges. Others are really far away. They don't have connections to the markets. But if roads are constructed, well made, health facilities, hospitals, and all these other health units, maybe Health Center 3, Health Center 4, 2, and all that are equipped with the health officials, and then the drugs, so that they are there all the time when they need it. Then from there, when there's the water, indeed, all people should be given good water, safe water, good roads, to ensure that they are, and then the inputs. Those, especially Uganda is basically an agricultural country. We expect those people at the grassroots who are particularly engaged in agriculture to conduct very good, produce the best quality food stuff, and then they should find their the markets for all what they produce: coffee, cocoa, even food stuff, maize, beans, groundnuts, milk, so that whatever we produce in this country has a market. Then you'll find that the transformation of the wananchi, wherever they are, will be definitely realized. And then our Vision 40, I'm sure, once all those are done, things will be okay for the citizens and this country, and we shall prosper.
And all it takes is aligning. I hope you've learned a thing or two as to what you should expect from your leader and a demand for from your leader. You did not cast that vote just for them to be satisfied, but it's for you to be served as a citizen of Uganda. Now, in line with voter sensitization, what should the aftermath look like for us as Ugandans of all these elections?
Yeah, thank you very much. Really, having gone through this rigorous voting cycle, of course, we expect after these people have sworn in, our leaders are sworn in, they have taken oath to redirect, re-energize, and re-emphasize the policies and issues to our voters or the citizens in general. People are now expecting that now that the cycle is concluded, yes, service delivery should continue or even double from where it had stalled or stopped. So that's what they expect. They expect that people should have the freedoms, people should have the security, people should have the ability and capability to sell whatever they have to sell, and should live and be happy wherever they are. Should expect the services in the hospitals and the rest of that. And now that this is coming to a conclusion, surely all people should now be peaceful. One, forget about the differences in your parties. You know, people have voted different party leaders. Of course, this has naturally could cause a bit of a clash, a bit of a misunderstanding, and generally, discouragement from here and there. But what we expect now that this is getting to the end, you should come back together. Even if the leader you voted is not the one who went through, or if you please come and work under and work with that leader who has gone through, who has taken oath, is going to be a leader of everybody, not of a leader of a party alone, but will take charge of every citizen in the area or in his or her jurisdiction. So, and peace should prevail so that this country continues on the trajectory of development.
Mm-hmm. Very profound at that. We are looking at local government elections that are happening today. Hopefully you are already at your polling station or planning to head to your polling station, then head to work. Or if you finish work as early, head to your polling station thereafter. Or if you work near your polling station, use the opportunity to go vote for your local government leader, that is a division chairperson, and councillors at that. And we're throwing light into this, but also closing this whole process with the 3N consultants that have been engaged in voter sensitization for more than 3 months, right at the grassroots level, but even here at UBC TV, where they've been speaking with us every single week, week in, week out, to make sure that we get all the information we need in order to vote right and be responsible citizens, exercise our right, but also get to engage in our duty and responsibility as citizens of Uganda. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number. You should engage and be part of the conversation. Now, any recommendations to the Electoral Commission, the authorities at that, of course, as to what to improve come the next cycle, 2031?
Thank you very much for that one. But this one I'll talk generally, but otherwise, Electoral Commission will be given a report officially, but really, generally, where they need to improve, one is they have dispatched the voting materials early. They have done that. There they have a tick. They have done a good job throughout. However, the kits, especially the BVVK machines, my only request would be that thorough checking and rechecking of this equipment should be done earlier, so that before they are dispatched to the voting locations, they are proved to be in sound mechanical condition. The other aspect would be to improve the training of the election officials. That one should be continuous, should be conducted up to the dot, so that the the election official, especially at the polling station, is knowledgeable of what he or she is supposed to do under the circumstances. And then the other aspect would be the Electoral Commission should continue to ensure that the voters are really given enough knowledge, enough information on how to vote, meaning that voter education should be emphasized, should be re-emphasized throughout the country, so that when the Electoral Commission is accrediting organizations, companies, and maybe individuals, to conduct voter education, they should also ensure that they are supervised to ensure that what the message they are giving to the voters or to the citizens is exactly the ones they should get to know.
Right.
Then, in fact, funding. Here, I'm appealing to the stakeholders to ensure that they pump in a lot of money, a lot of funds for voter education to ensure that really the voters, looking at when we saw the presidential elections where over 300 or about 300,000 invalid votes. That is a very big number. A number of 2 districts, if 2 or 3. Now, that is too much. That shows that really voter education was not properly done in some regions or in some parts of the country.
Right. Now, that brings us to the end of this conversation. And what are your parting shots?
The parting shots, in the first place, one, I want to thank all the stakeholders who have been with us throughout this period, particularly the UBC, which has conducted a serious voter education, and the staff, and particularly you, who has been with us. And I think by the end of as we conclude, you must be a very, by this time, you should be really a well-conversant election expert, and we shall be calling you every time and again to join us also and give voter education. Really, Julie has been done. Then I'm appealing also to the different political parties. I'm sure you have heard, including all the political parties, engage 3N consultants to rebrand, retrain, and retrain your people so that next cycle of elections, you people can do a very thorough job where we shall have minimal clashes and interferences. So best of luck. Parliament, please, 3N is there to train the parliamentarians after their swearing in, the LC5 chairpersons, local leaders, right down to sub-county. We are available, we are ready to train, and even ministries and agencies. 3N is there to conduct thorough consultancy for your improvement. Let's meet there and we get the best.
All right. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much, Mr. Godfrey Wavamuno, Senior Consultant at 3N Consultants, but also an election expert. Been speaking with us. Many of them have been speaking with us throughout the month regarding voter sensitization. I hope you've learned many things, not just a thing or two, but many things that have repeated over here in line with educating you and making sure that you get the points and facts as they are supposed to be. That brings us to the end of this conversation. Up next is Ruben with sports. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Tarehe Sita is celebrated in Uganda to commemorate the start of the National Resistance Army's liberation struggle on 6th February 1981, an attack on Kabamba Barracks, leading to the NRM's rise to power in 1986 and the formation of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The day symbolizes the foundation of the People's Army, national unity, and the ongoing commitment to peace, security, and socio-economic transformation. On Friday, 6th February 2026, the 45th Tarehe Sita anniversary will be celebrated under the theme Defending the Gains of the Revolution and Honoring the Sacrifices of the Freedom Fighters, a call for national unity, peace, and socio-economic transformation. The celebrations will take place at the National Teachers College grounds in Kabale Municipality. The activities will be relayed live on UBC TV.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Genshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss